Hey guys, welcome into the Sportscast. You got your hosts Brian and Craig on today. Craig, my man, how you doing?
Howdy, sir.
All right, guys, we're on here to talk about Week 2 that just happened in the NFL, and we named it the Panic Meter because it's always that episode, Craig, where there's a lot of teams that start 0-2, and the odds of making the playoffs are about 12% when you go 0-2. So we're going to go through those teams and are we smashing a panic button, I guess, for those teams here? We got a long list of teams here. We've got let's start off with the Saints. 0-2. Not a surprise. Spencer Rattler's your quarterback. I think this is kind of a given. If you're a realistic Saints fan, I don't think you're hitting the panic button because there's not really much looking forward to going in to the season if you're a New Orleans Saints fan with them. And the Panthers. The Panthers 0-2. They made it a game late in the game this last weekend against the Cardinals. They were down like 27-3 in the fourth quarter, and they lost 27-22, so they made it interesting. Interesting one here is the Bears. 0-2 start. Craig, I've had Bears fans tell me this is the year, or this is different. Williams is a good quarterback. Ben Johnson coming in, supposed to be this offensive guru. In week 1, you choke against the Vikings to a rookie quarterback. And week 2, you get dog walked off the field by the Detroit Lions. This one's a little shocker to me because I kind of said I think the Bears will be better. They got Caleb Williams' offensive line. The defense is always pretty stout for the Bears. And they had Ben Johnson. And this one is it time to push the panic button for the Chicago Bears, in your opinion?
Well, I believe it is because from what I'm hearing, it's Caleb Williams can't wrap his head around what Ben Johnson's trying to tell him. And that he may not be. Remember what I said when Caleb Williams was drafted, that he has survived off sheer talent, and he gave me the indication that he was not the work ethic kind of guy. That I didn't think he was going to be the guy that came in and was the first one in and the last one to leave the room. And that's what I believe is happening, is Caleb Williams is not putting the time and the effort that is needed to grasp the Ben Johnson offense. That's why you saw in the Minnesota game, remember you said the play calling in the fourth quarter was abysmal. Well, the play calling in the fourth quarter was abysmal because Ben Johnson has this much play calling to be able to feed the thimble brain of Caleb Williams. And so I don't think it's Ben Johnson. I don't think it's necessarily the team around him that they put around him. I think it's Caleb's unwillingness to be able to grasp the full concept of the offense, so they are limited as to what they can run right now. So when you're limited to what you can run, you're limited as to your performance. So we're at a crossroads here, Caleb. You either need to learn the offense or you need to learn to find the bench. And I don't know when that time comes where Ben Johnson goes, you're just not getting it, and until you do, you can stand over here next to me and hold the clipboard. And maybe calling the plays in to the guy that's going to replace you will help you learn the nomenclature and to what I'm trying to teach you. I don't know. But they get Dallas this week, and Dallas's defense has looked like a Oprah Winfrey special.
Everybody gets a touchdown.
You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. We're gonna make Russell Williams look like a Hall of Famer. So and of course that guy came from the Bears. There you have it. Maybe some guys are not better coordinators than they are head coaches.
Right. Well, and I think it's funny. You go to Detroit, you get dog walked. You get absolutely dog walked.
Well, I told you Friday that this was personal. That they were going to go in and they were going to hang half a hundo, and that's exactly what they did.
They 50 burger there. Yeah. Now, I do think it's time to hit the panic meter. And for Chicago, and I say this, you have great valid points there, Craig. 100% agree with you. I don't think Caleb Williams is a very good quarterback. He makes a lot of boneheaded decisions. But I say panic meter just because of the division you're in.
Oh, absolutely.
This division last year was the best division in football, in my opinion. And the Lions are going to bounce back. I mean, the Packers dog walked them in the first game, but they bounced back, and I think they've got their group back there with the Lions. And Green Bay's 2-0, and it's really a two-team race. I think at the end of the day, the Bears just, man, I thought they're going to be different, and maybe Ben Johnson's not the guy, or and it all depends, because Ben Johnson can't win with Caleb Williams. Is the organization going to give up on the unproven head coach or their number one pick? So
I think we're going to find out sooner than later on that, on who they decide to go with.
All right. The Giants start off 0-2 as I don't know how you lose a game when you let your quarterback throws for 450. But my gosh, they found a way to do it. I don't think we had the Giants making the playoffs. I don't think there's any panic button meter hitting. I think maybe Dayball, because he might be on the hot seat, but I don't think the Giants are really tuning in on the panic meter too much there. The Titans, same way. You're going to go through your rookie woes. The Titans start off 0-2.
You expected with the rookie quarterback, but he has looked better than what you would expect a guy who just came into the league. He looks like he might have some promise on that forefront. So if you're Tennessee, you're at least looking at, hey, we got this right. Now we have to build around it.
Yeah, 100% agree. The Texans full on hit the panic button meter. What is wrong with CJ Stroud? Yeah. This is, you've got a great defense. Something's wrong with CJ Stroud. He came out the first year and was amazing. And maybe it was the weapons around him, because, Tank Dell's no longer healthy. They don't have Diggs anymore. They basically got one wide receiver and a pretty good tight end. But Stroud is struggling. I don't know if it's mental or what, but they have got to figure out how to unlock him, because they're wasting the talents of their defense. I think it panic meter full blown here with Houston, and what we thought Stroud was going to be and what he's turned out to be so far.
So again, remember in the draft what I had said about CJ Stroud was,
Greg's like, let me get the receipts.
He was the Ohio State protege. Ohio State quarterbacks do never transfer into the NFL. There hasn't been one yet that deal. And then I had to drive the apology bus through Houston in year one, because he looked like he might actually get it. And now we're back to hold the phone.
Are there conversations where it's Jordan Love or CJ Stroud?
Right.
And everyone's like, Stroud's better.
Right. I mean,
well, okay, let's hold the horses there.
Right. And so, and you have, maybe, this is just trying to throw this out there, but maybe if you're Houston, I understand D'Amico Ryan came in and lit the world on fire and took you from a 2-win franchise to a playoff berth, but he is a defensive-minded head coach. Maybe we need to go more offensive-minded to help CJ out, or at least get. If I'm D'Amico Ryan, to save my job, I'm firing the offensive coordinator yesterday and getting somebody else in there to try to unlock that to save my job.
Quarterback coach, offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that whole room is getting pink slips to save my job. That's what I'm doing. Here, save me. Here, you guys, take these. That's what I'm doing. Now, does that help? I don't know. But it definitely isn't going to get worse in Houston right now than what it is, because that offense has looked anemic.
Browns 0-2, not surprised. Joe Flacco,
you put all your eggs into the senior citizen basket, this is what you get.
The Jets 0-2, not surprised. They played a great week 1, and then week 2 they got mollywop. Their quarterback gets hurt with a concussion. We're not surprised by it, though. I still like Aaron Glenn, but I don't know. Like I said, they're immune to winning.
They knew when they were coming in that this wasn't going to be a automatic flip year. It was going to be, let's see what we have, let's build around it. I don't think anybody expected them to win right away. Justin Fields looked better the first week. Of course, he doesn't get a real chance the second week because he gets his head bounced off the AstroTurf, and so we'll see how long, if he can clear concussion protocol and come back, or what the deal is there. But yeah, I mean, especially in that division with Buffalo, you don't expect to be 0-2 and survive it.
Well, there's one more team on here, and I left it for last because it goes into one of your takeaways of the week. Is it time to panic for the Kansas City Chiefs? 0-2. We just talked about it. Your odds of making the playoffs are 12%, and you got the Chargers. I think the Chargers 2-0, I believe, in that division. Let me look that up.
Yeah, the Chargers are 2-0, but everybody else is okay.
You're the only 0-2 team in your division. The Bengals, the Bengals get not the Bengals. My bad. I'm in the wrong division there. Chargers are 2-0. Raiders are 1-1. They're going to be bad. Denver's 1-1 after they should be 2-0, but you got a dumb penalty by someone on a 64-yard field goal. And Kansas City's 0-2. Is it time? Are we hitting the panic button this year so far on the Chiefs, Craig? I'll let you go first with this one. So that's your question.
I'm going to say no right now. They had a tough start, tough schedule. You have to go to Brazil and play in Brazil, and yes, that's a division game. The Chargers, that doesn't help your 0-2, they're 2-0, and you have a head-to-head loss. That hurts to not have both head-to-head to try to catch the team. But let's keep in mind, San Diego always seems to somehow San Diego it up, and so let's not full panic mode with San Diego being 2-0. Plus
Los Angeles.
Yeah, whatever. But whatever. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, you have a guy as the quarterback of this football team named Patrick Mahomes, and he has enough currency in the bank to let's not mash it yet. Now you go 0-3, we'll talk. You go 0-4, we'll talk. If at the end of September you only have one win and you lose another division game, then yes, we'll talk.
I agree with you.
You play a very good Eagles team, or Kelsey drops a pass that's going to win the game, walking into the end zone, and it turns into an interception. Those kind of things probably don't happen very often. I'm holding on for now.
I agree with you there. The Chargers are a good football team. The Eagles are a good football team. They play
right. You didn't play the Bears and the Dolphins or something.
That play with Kelsey, it's 13-10. You're down 13-10. You're about to, if you catch that ball, you go up 17-13.
Yeah.
Well, you turn the ball over. They come down and score on that drive. You're now down 10 points. So then you score a touchdown. The score's only a 3-point game. I do believe, though, if they lose this week, panic button will be real because they're playing the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if you lose to the New York Giants,
50 yards to the New York Giants and let Russell Wilson look like an MVP,
we're having a panic button smashed in Kansas City.
Somebody's going to have some discussions.
Could I pull up their schedule? I want to see who they're playing. They got Baltimore after that. That could easily be a loss. They got Jacksonville, which they can't get out of their own ways. Detroit, Raiders, Commanders, Buffalo, Denver. Their schedule's not.
It's not easy. They got Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yep. And then you got the rest of your division after that. The Colts have been the biggest shocker to me this year so far, but we'll talk about that next week probably. The biggest shock so far through week three, if I could talk. All right. My second takeaway is the injury bug has struck the quarterbacks of the NFL. We got 5 quarterbacks on the injured list. Now, the biggest one is obviously Joe Burrow, out 3 months minimum 3 months with surgery. Full on, if I'm a Cincinnati fan, I'm hitting the panic button. You know what this quarterback means to you. You know that your defense is not that good where you might be able to win some closer games. They still beat the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday, but I wouldn't hold my head up high. They've reached out to the Packers to try to get our Malik Millis. They signed a Packers quarterback. I forget his name. He was on our practice squad, I believe. They signed him. Or we just cut him this year. They signed him, brought him in. I'm in the panic button. Your division's tough. And Joe Burrow being injured, we know what he is to this football team. And 3 months is a long time to sit there and try and hold on hope that the team can hold on for you.
12 weeks. 12 weeks is a long time when you only play 17, so he would basically be back if they made the playoffs.
So it's tough because I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, but they've got to figure out this offensive line. This guy's been sacked more times than Luck was, and Luck quit and walked away from football. McCarthy out 2 to 4 weeks. He had a high ankle sprain in Monday night's blowout. And this is one that I'm not hitting the panic button because you might be better without him. All right, not very high on this guy. You have Carson Wentz there. Might be better without him. So I don't know how this offense could get any worse. I mean, Aaron Jones did go on the injured list today, so that's going to hurt your backup, your running game there.
They signed Cam Akers.
Okay.
To replace him.
So that's tough. You lose your quarterback for 2 to 4 weeks, but I don't think that's a big one for him. You honestly might be better with Carson Wentz. Purdy's out 2 to 5 weeks. They still win with what's his face, Mac Jones against the Saints, but it's against the Saints. I don't think Mac Jones is going out there and winning you too many games. But if a coach could do it, Shanahan's the guy. You got Fields in concussion protocol. Don't know if he'll play next week. And Jaden Daniels came out today that he sprained his knee. You can thank Michael Parsons for that. Sprained his knee running from Michael Parsons. And he will miss. He might miss next week. I don't think this is going to be a couple games or anything. They said he's probably not going to make it in this week. But that's big for the Commanders. That's big for your division there, Craig. You're welcome.
Huge.
What's your second takeaway, Craig, for week 2?
Well, you've got some other injuries that
Yep.
are big outside of the quarterback. Dallas loses their center when they're already thin at offensive line, and centers, as you know, as you've seen in Detroit, that's big for your signal calling and everything like that. Tampa just lost a pass rusher who they just drafted a year ago. He had like 11.5 sacks combined total, and they lose him to a torn pectoral muscle. Man, these guys are just dropping like flies. You just wonder, like, this isn't something you've seen this early. Teams just getting dealt injury after injury after injury. Dallas loses Deron Bland to a freak. Same foot problem he had last year in training camp. He plays week 1 and then breaks the foot again in practice. He's going to miss a month. And you saw what his presence in that secondary with Trayvon Diggs, looking...
That was terrible.
Lethargic.
My gosh. Looked like he didn't know where he was on the football field.
Right. I mean, the zone defense...
Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
What?
Who had that guy? Well, nobody. That's your guy,
And you better figure it out before Green Bay comes to town.
Oh, absolutely. You better figure out before anybody comes to town. I mean, if the New York Giants can put up 40 on you, well,
you are playing the Bears, so I think that's a little.
I know. I mean, and this is a good test to make sure that you get some confidence and get rolling, is to be able to hold a lethargic Bears team to under 40. Now, if the Bears go out there, if Caleb Williams goes out there and lights you up for 35, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Eberflus should not make the flight home and just stay in Chicago if that is the case. Yeah, the injuries have been shocking to me. It's just one after another, guys that have
even Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Sean McVay.
Plantar fasciitis on the sideline. What the Jesus?
What are we doing? Oh man.
Yeah, it's absolutely been really shocking. The injury demon really hurting some of these teams and can really flip a season around. And they all don't seem like, day to day. They seem to be multi-week,
weeks, yeah.
Deal.
Yeah, I hate to see that too,
Yeah, you wait all season, you wait all off season for your team, and then in week 2 your season gets derailed,
Yeah, especially on the quarterback, especially the Joe Burrows, and I don't wish injury upon any team.
Yeah, Prescott last year, what was it, week 4 that he, 4 or 5, and
Yeah.
he was gone for the year?
Well, and I'm not big on giving mulligans or whatever to injuries because everyone deals with them. But you lose your starting quarterback, that's a mulligan. That's a mulligan season. Couple other players, whatever. It is what it is. You deal with it and move on. But my third takeaway is the Eagles win ugly. But man, they win. They win. They find ways to win football games. I can't stand their head coach either. I know you guys don't like him in Dallas. I can't stand that dummy they got on the sideline, that big fat guy that's their security. I don't have no clue what his job actually is. They were supposed to get worse on defense this year with how many people they lost, but they're still good. They just win. Whether it's Saquon, whether it's A.J. Brown, whether it's Jalen Hurts, which it's usually never Jalen Hurts because he gets carried more than any other quarterback in this NFL. But they find ways to win. They win against the Chiefs on the road. I'm not surprised by it. I picked them to win this game against the Chiefs, but it's a good win on the road in Kansas City. There's hey, maybe they're still a team to beat in the NFC.
We waited for 17 weeks last year for this thing to self-implode. We said the quarterback's getting knocked out in the tunnel, and the it was just an internal disaster, and the coach didn't have the locker room, and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited, and it somehow held together, and they somehow went on a huge run and started like 10-1, and yeah, they're finding ways to win football games, and their schedule is not real tough the next couple weeks, I don't think. So it could be a hot start for Philadelphia, and that's not what you want to see if you're in that division, is for them to run 3 or 4 or 5, 6 in a row out of the gate and run away and hide before you have a chance to even the score here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it more of number 1 seed, right? And they have the Rams, which that'll be tough, Tampa Bay, Denver, the Giants, no. Vikings, no. The Giants again, no. Then they play Green Bay in November. Detroit, Dallas, Chicago. So, I mean, it's a mid-schedule. Nothing too frightening there, especially after you've already beat the Chiefs on the road. What else? I'm looking forward to the rematch between Green Bay and the Eagles this year, actually playing in the States, not in freaking Brazil and everything else. So we'll see how that game goes out. Any other week 2 stuff, Craig, before we jump into the Thursday night game? It's going to be a slobberknocker on one side.
Well, other than the fact that Miami is probably one step from being just a total the next 0-17 team, because that looks terrible over there, and I would be looking for a complete fire sale of trying to restock draft picks to rebuild that thing from the ground up, because that thing's about to get blowed up.
Well, they're about to get blown up. They play the Jets tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, sorry. Yeah, tomorrow night.
No, Thursday night.
Well, when we put out the episode, it'll be Wednesday, so it will be tomorrow night. But, yeah, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be 50-3, and God.
Well, I don't know if the Jets don't have a quarterback.
They might not. Let me see if it's at home or away, because some people might not make that plane ride back home, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
If they get, let's see. Week 3, it's in Buffalo. Yeah. McDaniels will be he'll be, if they lose this game and get beat at like 50-3, 50-10, you might see a coaching firing in week 3.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. My other takeaway, and I think we've all known it for week 2, is the Cowboys have the best freaking kicker in football. And I was hoping, Craig, that he missed a 64-yarder, so then I could make fun of your coach for settling. They just settled for it. They settled for a 64. I'm like, you could have got some more yards here. And then he nails it. I'm like, of course, well, You just have to get to the 50, and this guy's scoring points for you. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That is basically the line to game. Brandon Aubrey has told Schottenheimer and anybody who will listen, I'm good from 70. Get me to 70 and I'm good. Now, the times you will try 70 will not be in the middle of the first quarter. It'll either be the end of a half or the end of a game, or desperation to tie the game. That's when you'll see it. But basically, Aubrey has said, I'm good from 70. Unless
guys insane.
Unless we're outdoor, wind in my face, whatever.
Yeah.
But he goes up after warm-ups and tells Schottenheimer, going in both directions, I'm good from here going that direction. I'm good from there going that direction. And that's what they go off of. And he is a lifesaver. He's won a bunch of football games. There's been a bunch of football games where it's been nothing but Auburn field goals, and they've had 6 or 7 of them. And the guy is 90% for his career. Yeah, no, I mean, kudos to him.
All right, guys. Well, that's the episode today. The Sportscast here. Come follow us, like us on YouTube. We do a show every Tuesday night. It's out on Wednesday morning, and then Fridays we do a live show. And Jeff's really good at the shorts on YouTube, and we'll make different things. But we get your weekly sports news. Right now, it's all about the NFL. And soon enough, we'll get here into baseball as we come close to the race. And the Rangers are fighting, scrapping, trying to make the playoffs, and college football and all that good stuff. And Arch Manning, speaking of panic meter, Texas, are we throwing the panic meter there for Arch Manning? Because, yeah. Well, we'll get into more of that later on the Sportscast here. Yeah, getting booed by your own fans. Wow. Couldn't blow out UTEP. Not looking good there. All right, guys. That's your Sportscast today. God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.